What's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how El Salvador just made its first gold investment in over 35 years. We're going to take a deep dive into this and look at why it's so significant. So, stay tuned for the full episode.
Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
What's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome back to another episode. Hopefully, you guys are blessed and doing well. We're going to jump straight into it today as El Salvador has just announced that they have bought their first investment in gold in over 35 years, which this is absolutely crazy. I'm excited to get into this. What's interesting, we've spoken a lot about how El Salvador is consistently investing in Bitcoin. They've made some changes to their voting process and things of that nature. So it's interesting because as we dive into this really is a tell sign of El Salvador looking into the future for their economy and for their country overall. So let's share our screen and we're going to dive into this today. Very interesting information. Go ahead and share our screen. Boom, here we go. And you guys should be able to see that. And so, as it says on the top of the article, it says El Salvador pivots to gold, acquired 13, just about 14,000 troy ounces for diversification. This is specifically talking about gold. And it says in this subheading, with this move, El Salvador follows in the footsteps of other nations like China, Turkey, and India, which have been significant buyers of gold to diversify their foreign reserves. The Central Bank of El Salvador now holds about 58,000 troy ounces of gold, valued at nearly $207 million. And I want to go over real quick just for you guys to know the current price of gold to today. A 1 ounce of gold is sitting at just over $3,600 per ounce. All right. So it's definitely been going up a lot over the past couple years. We don't even need to take it back. I mean, if you take it back 5 years, it was around 1,500. So since then, it's doubled since then. But we can just take it back a year, and you can see the growth, which is interesting because if you guys know, gold typically doesn't move this much at this rate. If we even take it back all time, you can see it's for many years it was steady, 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 steady. You see a peak, 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 peak. What year was this? This was in 2012, and then it came back down. It was pretty much steady for a while, for a long time, and then around you can see, um, really 2023 was the year that it started to peak up. So in addition to that, I wanted to also show you silver. So silver doesn't go for as much as gold, but it's definitely seeing some highs as well. So $41 for an ounce of silver, and you can see back in 2011 is when it was its highest, and I think it's, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's probably hit its 44.92 was its peak, and right now it's at 41.47, so close to an all-time high for silver. But just wanted to show you this number. This is besides the point. Going back to this article about El Salvador buying just about $50 million worth of gold. Their gold reserves are now up to 32% from, again, 44,000 to 58,000 of ounces of gold. As we just mentioned, they hit over $200 million in total value. And this is the first purchase of gold since 1990. And again, how they're framing it is it's really a medium and long term diversification play for international reserves, right? Gold, as we know, is known for its financial soundness, its stability, and the confidence that it gives investors to invest into something like this, right? So if we're talking about, if we're comparing it to a company like Nvidia, even Apple, Bitcoin, you're going to see a lot of different spikes. You're going to see a lot of different highs and lows, highs and lows. And as you can see in the chart that we just showed you, you're not going to see as many dips for gold or silver. Well, silver you'll see a little bit more, but specifically gold, let's stay on that. You're not going to see as much. As you can see over time. It's just going to steadily increase. So very interesting that El Salvador has continued to invest in Bitcoin as they publicly hold just over 6,000 Bitcoin, which equals to just under 700 million Bitcoins that they own. They also wanted to diversify themselves and spread across into precious metals such as um, gold. All right. And look, specifically talking about Bitcoin, despite the volatility that we just mentioned, their holdings are up roughly $400 million since they've been accumulating Bitcoin. So, look, I think this is always a good sign for the country. Again, that's consistently looking for ways to invest for the future, looking for ways to diversify. Diversification is something that's super important when it comes to not only countries but yourself as well, right? If you look at your investment portfolio, you want to make sure you're diversifying your skill set, your investments, making sure that you're looking at different aspects of different industries, right? Last week we spoke about AI, and we spoke about how these different AI platforms are great tools for you to use, but Jeremiah brought up like, hey, some of these different platforms may be even good for you to invest in. So that's another way that you can remain and keep diversifying your investments, right? So definitely want to love to know your thoughts about this. Um, I don't have the chart right now, but it's interesting that they compared El Salvador following the footsteps of other nations like Turkey, China, and India. There's another chart. I don't think I'll be able to find it right now, but that specifically also brings up other countries that have large Bitcoin holdings, and these countries were on that list as well. So you're seeing a collective of certain countries that are following along with each other and investing in Bitcoin, gold, and things of that nature. So I want to know you guys' thoughts about this. What do you guys think about El Salvador making this investment? Do you think they should continue to diversify? Do you think they should go all in on Bitcoin? Do you think other Latin American countries should start to follow suit as well? All right. So, in addition to talking about El Salvador, we also want to dive into a platform that has become very, very popular in the previous years called Mercado Libre. All right. So, this is the platform that I wanted to talk about today that has been doing very, very well. I'm going to share my screen. Before we dive too much into the platform, I want to give you guys some statistics and some numbers about this platform. So, this platform is operating in 18 different countries. And essentially, what this is the largest marketplace and payment ecosystem in the Latin American region. So, as you can see, these are the different 18 countries on the screen that this platform's in. I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of this platform. So, when I came across this article and I was diving a little deeper into it, this is like it intrigues me, right? Essentially, if you can think about it, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's almost like an Amazon combined with a PayPal, and it has some functions of like a Shopify or even a Facebook Marketplace, all into this one platform that's been developing over the previous couple years. So it's very interesting. Brazil has 57% of the marketplace sales. They also have strong growth in Mexico and Argentina as well. And again, this marketplace, and we're going to dive into it in a second, is used for buying and selling different things. You can also auction off cars and different items. And you can also buy different tools on here as well. I've seen I was playing around with it. You can buy shoes and all sorts of things, right? So let's dive into it real quick. We're gonna uh, hit on Argentina. We'll switch this to English, and don't mind some of the pricing because you definitely got to convert some of these things. But this is what it looks like for those of us in the Latin American countries. Those of us that are not in the 18 Latin American countries, this is what it's looking like. And those of us that are in America that you've never seen this, this is what the platform looks like. So it's just a marketplace, right? And you can buy different things on here. And again, these prices, if you're looking at it in America, know this bike is not over almost $300,000, right? You have to convert into the local currency, but you can buy all types of things on here, right? You can even rent movies. There's series on here, so all types of items that you need or want, you can find on this platform. Now, the reason why we're talking about this platform, those of you live in a Latin American country that use this platform, like, yo, we use this every single day. Why are you talking about this? Well, the reason why we're talking about this is because this could also potentially be an investment opportunity or something to keep a close eye on as this country continues to grow. Because not only do they have the marketplace, they also have, so we look at the economic system that this platform owns. We're looking at the marketplace right now of different things you can sell, auction, tools and whatnot, things that you can buy. But they also have logistics. They offer next day delivery. They handle 90% of packages in network. That sounds very familiar to a platform like Amazon. They also have a fintech portion to this business, which is another page that we'll dive into right now, which is called Mercado Pago. And so, what you can do with this platform is it offers wallets. You can submit payments, pay bills. If you need credit, loans, insurance, investing, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do within this other arm of the business, right? So, again, looking at this from a platform that potentially you want to invest in this company, invest in this platform. These are different things that you have to look at, right? How are they making money? How are they diversifying themselves, right? This is another great way of a company diversifying themselves to intrigue themselves, to make themselves more of a better selling point for investors, right? So you definitely have to log in to see some of the different things that they offer on Mercado Pago. But again, they offer digital accounts, yields, transfers, MasterCard prepaid cards, cash withdrawal. So they offer a bunch of different things within this side of the platform and even for your business as well. So let's take a look at the stock and how it's doing and what it's looking like, right? So this is the ticker code, as you can see right here, in Mercado Libre. And this is just one day, but the current price is just over $2,300 for one share. But what I always love to do when I'm looking at different stocks, different companies, is this a company that I should invest in or should be on my radar? Is I like to pull it out and look at the bigger picture and see how it's been performing over the course of a year or over the course of the past 5 years. Now, if you want to get real technicals, you can look into the highs, the lows, the market cap, the PE ratio, things of that nature. But to keep it simple for people out there, we're going to zoom it out a little bit 5 years, and you can see there's been a steady rise in the price of this stock in the past 5 years, right? Hasn't been nothing too crazy, but it's a steady rise. Now, if you look and you pull it back maximum for five or the max time that it's been around, this is back in 2007 for the inception of the company or the inception that it went public. And you can see it kind of maybe in these years they were trying to figure out and whatnot, figure the platform out and whatnot. But in 2017, you can see a spike. You can see the growth. In 2020, it grew tremendously. And it's funny, if you look at this time, it was around $900, June 26th of 2020. This was pretty much, I think this was the start of the pandemic, literally the start, maybe a month after the pandemic was initially announced. And so imagine during this time, people are looking to buy things online in these different 18 countries, right? So if they're looking to buy things online, they need a platform. This was probably the biggest platform that people were using. In addition to that, if they needed to transfer money, they needed to pay bills and whatnot, they were probably using Mercado Pago as well. So you can see the massive increase during this time. Now there is a dip that you want to that happened around June 3rd, 2022. That's something that we can look at what happened around that time, what happened around the world during this time, to see why it dipped. There was probably, if I'm not mistaken, there is a worldwide dip in the economy during that time. Don't quote me on that. But nonetheless, you could go back in time, look at some articles, and what was the reason why it dipped? Was it something that was related to happen in the world, or was it something that happened related to the company? So, in addition to the marketplace, logistic, fintechs, some of the other things, some of the other ways that this company makes money as well is through ads and yeah, ads and advertisements, right? So they monetize across different funnels by having ads on their platforms. They're offering people to essentially put their product at the first front page, right? If you think about like SEO on Google, or if you think about Amazon, you can run ads to increase the visibility of the item that you are um, trying to sell, right? So, a couple other quick numbers about this platform. This platform actually has 71 million active buyers, which is up 25% from last year. For the fintech users, it has 67 million users that are using this side of the platform to pay bills, to transfer money, up 30% from last year. And they're seeing major growth in countries such as Argentina, Brazil, and Mexico, as we mentioned. 75% uptick in users in Argentina, 29% in Brazil, 32% in Mexico, and their revenue is sitting at around $6.8 billion, which is 34% from last year. This is absolutely crazy. This platform. So again, I wasn't aware of this platform. With us being in America, we have platforms like Amazon. We use PayPal. I mean, there's all types of fintech companies out here that you can use, but this seems like it's one of the gold standard platforms to use in the 18 different countries. So it's going to be interesting to see as they continue to spread to different countries in Latin America, maybe in the Caribbeans and whatnot, to see how this country or this platform will continue to grow. Um, I'm not sure if crypto is offered on this platform. I'm looking around real quick. I don't think I see anything. But you can definitely look. You can expect a platform like this that has that many users. If the demand is there, what if they start offering crypto that you can transfer crypto, you can pay for things in crypto and things of that nature? Now we're getting into some very interesting conversation. All right, so that's it for today. I wanted to go over El Salvador and Mercado Libre as a platform that's growing massively in Latin America. Definitely let me know down below what you guys' thoughts are about everything that we spoke about. If there's something that you want us to talk about, go ahead and let us know in the comment section down below. And as always, it's your boy Chris. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.